Hello friends of analog photography and welcome to the latest video. I know it has been quite some time and I have to say sorry for that. As promised in one of my last videos, or to say it more correctly, in the comments of one of my last videos, I made a video or a rough overview of the Wista Field 45 camera. So let's roll the intro and let's start right in. Oh, before I forget it, if you like my content, hit that subscribe button, give me some thumbs up and share my videos. So let's start. Okay, welcome back. So let's start right in. So here we have the Wista Field 45. There are some different models of this camera, but most of them share the same similarities, okay? So it's pretty easy to get around the functions of this camera. As the name suggests, the Wista Field 45 is a field camera, and B, it's a 4x5 inch large format camera, means it's loading large format film. Being a field camera, this has advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages are it's not super heavy. It has a weight, yes, but it's not super heavy. It's super compact and it's easy to carry around. And the disadvantages are it is limited in its movements. As simple as that. So it doesn't have as much movement as some rail camera systems. Okay, now let's have a rough overview of the camera body from the outside, and then we're gonna opening it up and I'm gonna show all the controls in detail. Now, these two knobs here are to loosen the back of the camera, so you can open it up, and then it's to tighten it again, so it's not slapping down. These two knobs here are made for the back movements. This thing here, you can lock the place where you would put the film holder into, and this can help you by disassembling the back of the camera, but I'm gonna show this to you later. This knob opens up a light screen, which helps you with finding your image when you accidentally forget your dark cloth. Then here you can open up and put this beside, so you do not have to use it. So if you're in the field and you want to use your dark cloth, then you could, simply open it up, put your dark cloth on you, use your loupe, is it called magnifying glass, sorry. You could use your magnifying glass and then, focusing on your image. Here at the top, you have these two things, these two knobs, I would call them. They're here to disassemble the camera as well, and I'm not going to use these today because it's super fiddly and, there is no need for me to disassemble the camera completely today. Here you have a cold shoe, which is simply made for mounting different accessories, and a water level that helps you to, level your camera, as the name suggests. And here we have a screw mount for your tripod, or for the plate of your tripod, or whatever. Okay. Now, let's position the camera bottom down and open up the camera. Now I'm gonna bring this forward just a tad so we can see everything. And as I just told you in the beginning, we have to loosen these screws first. Like so. And these screws work against each other. Means not like they are enemies and working against each other. Maybe this isn't said correctly, but you have to turn one screw towards you and the other screw away from you. It's as simple as that. Then you push the black button down here and down here, and you open up the camera. And tighten the screws again. Now let's have a look at the inside of the camera. You have these little handles here and there. You have these two, screws or rods or whatever you want to call them. and you have all these little controls. Let's start with the most easy things. These little black handles here are made for securing or unsecuring the focusing mechanism. And these are also meant for fine focusing. This means if you put this here completely to this screw, it won't move at all. If you open it up completely, it'll move super easy. But doing very fine movements is a little, you know? And then you go a little closer with it. Don't close it completely, and then you will be able to do very, very fine focusing movements. And it's nearly the same over here with these two handles. These two handles are here to secure, well, the middle rail system here. Now, this shouldn't happen, but I did not secure the, well, screws here. So bring this back. And now you see why it's important to use these things. Now let's open this up, and here you can bring out the rail. Obviously, you would first bring out this, but I wanted to start with explaining how the rail system works before we completely assemble the camera. Okay, let's bring this back in. And you can hear it makes like a small click when it's in the correct position. I'm quite sure you didn't hear a thing, but it makes a click, believe me. Now let's close this again. And then we have these two controls up here. And if you're curious about what they are, it's super simple. When you bring out the bellows later, then with these little things here, you could decide on how far you want the bellows to be able to be put out. So you could loosen the screws here and move them, tighten the screws, and then now the bellow will only go until here. It's as easy as that. So again, these screws, loosen, move, tighten. Easy. Okay. Now let's tighten them in again. And now it's time to bring out the bellows. For bringing out the bellows, it's simple. You squeeze these two handles together and simply, absolutely straight, pull out your bellows. That's it. Okay, now let's have a look at the lens mount. So this is the lens mount, and it's made for Shenhao boards, and you could also use some of the Linhof boards, but it has to be the right board, okay? So this is the board, the kind of board that is taken by this camera mount, or by this lens mount. So you simply opening up this here, put it in here, and that's all there is to it. So it's no magic, okay? I'm gonna remove it now to show you how the rest of the camera works. Now, this screw here is for your shift movements. I mean, like the shift from left to right, or to either left or right, to be correctly. This screw here is for your tilt movement, and these screws here are for your rise. So you could loosen this screw here, and then use this screw to rise the lens, or to bring it down again. Now let's tighten this again here. You could loosen this screw and use the tilt to the front and to the back. Or as explained before, you could loosen this screw here and shift the lens. And the red point is indicating the middle. Great. Now, this model of the camera does not have a swing. So, well, that's not correct. I'm gonna show you. It has a slight back swing, but it has not got a front swing, okay? Great. Now let's bring in the bellows again. And let's turn the camera so I can show you some other things that might be very interesting. As I just mentioned, this camera has no front swing, but it has back swing. And this is what these knobs here are for. So if you turn both of them at the same time, it will tilt to the back, like tilting to the back. I'm going to show you right now. Like so. And don't overdo this movement, because if you go too far, it's very fiddly to bring back into its original position. And if you only move one of the knobs, it will either swing to the right or to the left, depending on which side you loosen this knob. Okay, now let's close down the camera again. And let's have a look at, well, the back part of the camera, the loading mechanism, and so on and so forth. As I mentioned before, this camera loads 4x5 film, means you need a 4x5 film holder, which looks like this. So this is a relatively cheap film holder. It's made by Fidelity, so, well, that's a film holder for 4x5 film, and I usually indicate which film is inside of it here. And to put the film holder in, you simply lift up this part of the camera and, okay, no, this doesn't work. I'll lift it up from here so you can better see what I'm doing. And you simply slide in the film holder until it snaps in. That's it. Then you remove your cover, take your picture, and put your cover back in. As simple as that. And now comes a part where some people always say, oh, the Wista 45, it's so hard to pull out the film holder after taking a picture, and that's actually not true. Well, some people are used to simply slide out the film holder. And that's not the way it works with this camera. Well, you could pull on it until it jumps out at any time, but that's the wrong way. The best thing is to simply lift it up a bit or pull it towards you, because in real life it would be like this, or the back would be rotated, but we come to this later. And you simply pull it like this and it comes out with ease, okay? You can simply turn it out. There is no like pulling like insane on this thing. It's super easy. Now let's talk about another small control, which is this thing here, this little handle. And this will not make any sense most of the time, since a lot of people are using either these Fidelity film holders and, well, they don't work as with this mechanism. Usually there were some film holders that slide it in, and then this thing here was like clicking in and holding the film holder, so preventing it from accidentally jumping out. And that's not working with most of the film holders, so you simply have to be careful not to, well, push your film holder and make it jump out. Okay, and as promised before, I'm going to show you how to remove this part here. And that's super simple. You pull this back, and now you bring in these two things here, these two levers. And that's it. It already jumped out. Now you simply move this away, and you completely removed the back part of the camera. Now, why would you do this? Obviously, well, if you want to repair something, if you want to check your phone here, if it's still dark enough or it's still light tight, or if you want to remove the door, like this light thing here, this light trap, or if you just want to replace the ground glass. Well, there are different possibilities why you would remove it. And what I'm going to show you now is how to remove this part here if you do not like it. And that's super simple. So let's put the camera aside for a moment. Let's turn this around. And that's the way it's put in there. And here and there is like, well, this little rod. And you can push in on either of these sides and make it jump out. Well, make this thing here jump out. I don't know the correct English word for it, I'm sorry. Now let's find something. Now you simply take some tool, whatever, and push in here. This side and this side, and that's it. And now you could remove this part from the ground glass. Take care, don't destroy your ground glass. Ground glass still is super expensive. This is also why I would not recommend you to remove it all the time, because this is an extra part of protection for your ground glass. But anyway, if you feel this is in the way for your working or you don't want to have it, then I just wanted to show you it's super simple to remove it. And now you could just bring this here back in, like so, and then close this again and it's done. Also, what you can do is you could remove the ground glass, and therefore you unscrew these screws here, and then you remove the ground glass layer by layer. I'm not gonna show this to you right now because my ground glass is very well calibrated. And yes, there is something like calibrating a ground glass. This has to be done when your ground glass is off focus, means you are focusing correctly through your ground glass, but all the images you are developing, well, are absolutely not in focus. Then this could be either due to the fact that you pulled in the film, that you pushed in the film holder too strong and moved the focus away, or because your ground glass is off focus, and then you would have to calibrate your ground glass, which is a pain to do. I do not disassemble this ground glass now. Okay, let's reassemble this thing for a moment, and then we're gonna continue with the last small part here. Now the last and maybe very interesting thing here is this back is rotatable. So you can change from landscape to portrait mode by simply turning the camera's back. So it works nearly the same way as it would work with the RB67 or something like this. Turn it, take your picture, and turn it back. Or don't turn it back, for whatever reason. Well, that's all there to say for the Wista 45. And because people always want me to make a conclusion at the end of my videos, I'm gonna say this. I absolutely love this camera. I worked quite a lot with it, and it's one of the cameras I use the most. My two most used cameras are the RB67 and the Wista Field. When it comes to the Wista Field, I'm super happy that I bought this camera. It's really a great piece of technique, it's super reliable, and if you grab a good one, then it will serve you absolutely well. It is not too heavy. There will be an article linked down in the description where you find additional information about this camera. There will be written things like the weight of the camera, the bellow length, and so on and so forth. So it's not too heavy, but it's heavy enough to give some extra stability to the tripod, so it's not too shaky when putting in the film holder. It works like a charm, it has enough movements, and it's simply a great camera. And there's nothing more to say. So I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you're about to buy a Wista Field, or if you're still struggling with should you buy one or not, I can give you a go. This really is a great camera. Go buy it, take great pictures with it, and I'm quite sure you will love it. If not, I don't know why, because it really is a great camera. If you want to have a camera that supports way more movements, then you obviously had to go with a different kind of camera. So this is a field camera, means it's limited in movements, but still serves you absolutely well. I love it, I use it most of the time, and yeah, simply, it's a great thing. So that's the end of the video. I don't want to talk too much here. If you enjoyed it, please give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button so you will be notified about new videos. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. See you